What is going on, students? It's Devlin Cassidy, aka The Scholar, back, with another match Monday today. I would like to apologize in advance for the egregious glare that I had at locals. We had premium locals on Friday, which I got first in, and out of all the games today, this game was the best out of all that I recorded. Went undefeated. Good old 6-0 on Megacolony for the day. If you guys did not see my VG Top Decks post on X or formerly Twitter, please go follow mine down in the description down below. I am on there pretty frequently and would just love for my my X audience to grow a little bit, so would appreciate if you went to go hit the quick follow. But before we get into the match today, we got Narukami with a superior ride that does the whole Descendant shenanigans versus Megacolony, which I'm on. If you want to check out all my wonderful sponsors that I've now thrown up over there, change the overlay layout because all of these matches going forward are going to be overhead matches, so that way the camera angle's better. You guys can always see the cards, barring that there's not a glare, but I do know everything that's played in this match, so do not worry, do not fear. It's chilling. So go check out all my wonderful sponsors. Again, both mats are from Dank Ritual, so if you like either of those mats, you can go shop with them. The sleeves I'm using are Dank Ritual, so it's great work. I love these mats. You'll see the SF decks, the SFX dice, all FX dice from Dual Spec be used. And then, of course, go shop with Kingslayer cards and support my team sponsor, which I'm repping with my shirt on. So, see, look at that. All bases covered. But Jared is going to be going first. He's playing the Narukami Superior Descendant Ride package. We're getting here into our good old post mulligan hands here. And so Jared goes. I don't know why he's grabbing that, because he already is not going second. He's gonna fake the re-ride, and I said no, I'm gonna leave it in because all the homies that know Jared know that he be a little bungle sometimes, but it's okay. He's not drawing, and I don't know why he's doing that, because we went through that again. So I'm laughing here. We're just laughing about it. So he gets to now look check top 5 for an Eradicator, and gets to add the good old. It's the Intercept Retired Dragon. Is unfortunately, so that's the card here. I cannot remember the life of its name for me right now, but grabs that, pitches the relic, and then proceeds here like that. I draw for turn. I'm gonna ride on here into Little Dorcas, draw a card, check the top 5 here in a second after revealing harmonics to get the Guardian ticket. Then top 5 here. So as you can see, I only have one target, and that's the Dovaspid, but I think that in a case where I have to maybe generate a protect marker, that Dovaspid is not bad if Gredora is not the optimal ride. Plus, it gives me a guaranteed stride fodder. And the 5K and the superior ride doesn't necessarily matter, so that's why I settle on, grabbing the Dovaspid here and being able to pitch the quick shield. You are able to give Narukami a damage, so I just swing here and I get big value. First check OT, wish it was a Lyrical or a Dark States one. But then Jared also gets a draw out of it. So giving my opponent a damage or 2 is not going to harm me. But you don't want to push Narukami with a lot of damage with the superior ride, because if they open a lot of Cho-Os, then it becomes not, really that beneficial. So he does hit the threshold to hit the superior ride by getting the grade 1 and having the Zuiton on the Vanguard. He gets to shove the starter to soul, shove the starter in the grade 1 to soul, and superior ride into Dragonic Descendant. And then Descendant will, of course, give him the Excel marker, and then he will be on grade 3 for an entire turn, which lets him go into any stride that he would like. So he gets a superior stride, but better because he's striding into Exterminate, and Exterminate's broken. And the superior stride for Vanquisher is Dogwater. So yeah, he's testing here the superior ride strat, which is all good. So drawing a card here, finds the Ride Fixer, which is also another huge part of this deck. This deck is insanely consistent at hitting the superior ride. That's the craziest thing, is the deck's consistency is insane. However, the power is just, just needs a little bit of that push here. Gonna go into another Eradicator top 5 searcher here, and unfortunately he's just gonna whiff. He could have added the stand trigger, but there's no real reason for him to grab it yet, just because he may want those in deck for if he checks those defensively, he gets to stand stuff while under a Gredora, so that's very beneficial here. We'll be able to call here the Ride Fixer. Swing first with Descendant. You have to unfortunately no guard the Descendant and hope he doesn't sack, because it's in case that you guard raw numbers. he's there, but he's gonna swing the rear guard first because he thinks there's a Brilliant in hand, which I don't think there is yet, but there is next turn. Oh no, there is. I know I call it in the next turn, but I'm just gonna go here, no, and then he's gonna swing here, and I'm just gonna no guard this, and just hope he doesn't sack, and he gives me 1 damage, which is fine. Sucks that it is the Enlargolve, however. The Enlargolve actually lets you do a lot of really neat plays in this deck. For Megacolony, because I'm playing a very different list than I took to Philly. I'm playing a list similar to Crows, my teammates. I call it Buglander because you play a bunch of like 1 of grade 3s. And it's kind of broken, but you'll see one of the ones we play here is Forbidal. You'll see Forbidal's effectiveness on the next turn when I get to grow into Gredora. And then Mantis will get 6k. And so Jared's asking me, like, what does that card do? It is because I've never played this in Megacolony until now. Going off on the 6ks here. Unfortunately, those SFX dice from Dual Spec are not there, but the former ones there that I've always featured on the channel do have the 6k, and Jared has a set. So Jared comes in here and saves me not having to stack multiple dice. Jared cuts here, and I'm just going to drop this Brilliant since everything's rested, and hopefully he doesn't check a stand, just so that way I can add some free pressure to say that, hey, you drop a trigger here, it's still a trigger to pass, so therefore I can like punish him if I do it, and it still forces a trigger out of his hand to make it trigger to pass. So he's going to guard here with the Vanguard defensive draw crit here for 27 to my 15-23. So measly number to pass here. And fortunately I don't break because, again, I don't know if there's a Cho. I could have swung into a rear, but I feel like pressuring his Vanguard to where, like, you know, the 3-to-1 gap, if I could appropriately guard the Exterminate turn, lets me win the game of attrition that Megacolony likes to play. And this matchup is very hard, especially once you go into the sweep. I also could have like committed 1 more card to the front row to force him to kind of reride the sweep command. It's that way he doesn't get as powerful draws. But as you can see here, the health of his hand is questionable. So we'll call the Intercept Dragon. I need to figure out the name of that card. And then just calls another set of cards here. Is going to activate Exterminate skill to pump the front row by 20k. And thankfully there's not a lot of a multi-attack, which is beneficial because I would be really behind here. But my hand thankfully is very healthy. And we will see what is going on here. So I do probably want like 2 to 3 CB this turn. So I take this first swing. He swings the Vanguard here. I no guard this, which is very ballsy because if he hit a crit, that would have been really unfortunate. And then unfortunately, I check a Maple, which you guys will see. Like Maple and Rotting Usurp are the sole cheats in this deck. And then we'll swing again here. So what I could have done is I could have actually guarded this a little more efficiently, but I hit the draw here, which lets this 33 just be easily guarded with 39, I believe. And the reason I do decide to guard with the Guardian Shield is in case I draw Elementary, I don't want 2 dead cards in my hand. Because I already have the Stride Fodder, so like I'll slightly overguard to have better guard consistency. Which is, again, is a micro play, so you guys have to really be able to consider those aspects of like when you're trying to navigate like your guarding patterns. And so this is here where like there's 2 crossroads. I know he hasn't checked a heal, and I'm going to assume that his hand quality is poor, because he had to, again, commit a lot of cards that didn't do high impact. So I was thinking maybe going Darkface Overwhelm to draw some cards, but then would figure out that if he starts to get efficient guarding numbers, then I have an issue where I don't get like all that good. And so I think about Gredora here, and I slightly hesitate. But like again, like the Gredora is like always the play. Just being able to guarantee shut off G Guardians is good, but like I had a strong inclining for some reason, which you guys can see by his hand is like correct. Is like, bro, don't got a G Guard. So I could have gone Overwhelm and gained a lot of value, and then just forced these front 2 to not stand. But as you guys can see, that this Gredora play is a lot better than I'm about to do, which we'll illustrate here. So I'm just trying to think about what my full turn looks like. And Jared and I are discussing it kind of because we play test with each other all the time. Jared's on here like a lot. Jared's actually become a really good player. So eventually I decide that, you know, we just go into the queen that's going to probably get hit this week. Hopefully, we hope, maybe not. But we're actually going to activate the on-stride effect of Darkface here. Darkface is going to proc the both of the grade 1 and the booster in the back that he will force to be like called over to commit. And then we'll hit the dragon that is going to not be able to intercept because of the Forbidal that's in my hand, which you guys will be able to see the Forbidal action in the next play. I'm thinking about maybe calling the booster just that way he's forced to like continually to call back there. But instead of like calling to the Excel, since he's already going to be kind of, you know, prompted to go Excel. But I'll just go here just in case like he maybe has to pop it or not. So I'm going to activate Gredora's effect here. Counterblasting the Maple, getting that face down is important, so that way if I can't heal it out, I can get a soul cheat back. And so we'll go here into the Malagantus. I'm going to activate Forbidal here, and because Forbidal is such a cool card, we're going to be able to get a high-class Moth because it's regarded as a grade 3 in deck, and a Rotting Usurp Dragon. And the reason I feel very comfortable, particularly in this build of Narukami, is because it's not the VSR build that, you know, very likes to manipulate your drop zone. And so I feel very comfortable in this matchup being able to commit like this because, like, I know that he will have to remove the high-class Moth, but, like, the Rotting Usurp stays, so I always will get my soul cheat, which feels really good. So I'll throw the Dovaspid back and countercharge 1, but as you guys can see, I still want that Maple face down. And then I'll choose the... does it begin with an R? I feel terrible that I'm not remembering this card's name. But we'll choose the grade 2 Interceptor to just prevent it from intercepting. Then we will activate the Mali here to neg 10. And now we will have a very good board here. So we're going to call the... we'll call the trigger, we'll call it Brilliant Blister, and then we will call the Inlet Pulse that was in my hand since the start of the game. Just so that way we're blinking our board, but now he's still forced to re-ride. And there will be a card left over in the Hell Demise on our board. So we just want to be able to continue to play here. First, gonna start here by swinging 4K at his 2. He's going to intercept here for a 7. You could argue that I could have gone, you know, like 12 to force like a 15K out of his hand if he wanted to take it. But I still forced a 13 here, which would still be a 15K guard. Because I do want a 30 number because when that re-stands off the Hell Demise, my numbers will be a little bit better. So I'll activate the Gredora swing here. I'll draw a card, Soul Blast the card out, and then call Hell Demise. I did that like pseudo out of order, but Jared knew what I was doing. So we'll give 10K here to the Hell Demise and then re-stand the Inlet Pulse. So now we'll hit the threshold for 4 or more attacks for the Inlet Pulse to go to Soul and draw a card. Jared here will PG because he is at 3 and has not seen a lot of crits come out of my deck. So it is a good thing he did because that is a critical trigger. So he'd been at 5. Jared don't want to be at 5. So I'm going to split the power here, though, just because I do want to force more cards out of hand. And then if he does want the CB, he you know, I don't want to give him the free CB to go to 5 in case he drew a lot of Chohos. So I'm going to force here for 23. CB wants to take that, and with this hand health, yeah, this is like pretty bad. So he has to take this one. Does hit a stand trigger. So we'll be able to restand the card in the front row. So that deadens the Brilliant Blister on board, which is like huge. Because I thought I was going to get that back. I was just going to try to bank on that he didn't check a stand, but now there's a stood rear guard on the board. And we'll hard guard that out there. 7, 5... Yep. He will bind here for the sweep. is going to activate the effect here to resurrect since he is at 4. I think also there may have been a miscalculation of power from my end, but that's on my fault as the opponent. That is on me, where we misguarded the number, because I think Jared would have finished at 27. But anyway, this is still actually a really good game. This showcases both like what both decks want to do, because the other 2 matches I played against were against was against Chrono Jet Crest and then Spike Brothers, which is very one-sided for the bugs. So here's this. We'll go here for an Esperidia, and before he calls, I'm still thinking on if I want to rest that, because my hand, while it does look very healthy, and the reason I really do like this version of Megacolony is it actually does retain a very healthy hand size. My shield value isn't great, so I would love to not have to deal with at least 1 attack. So I will here Soul Blast 2 to rest it, because that would probably be the healthiest card in his hand if he's calling that first. Yeah, he's going to say, like, I'd rather commit that over there. And so that way we can keep the things up. And now we get the +10 here to the front row, or +20. I do get the power there, though, which is huge. Going to 5 and getting a trigger there is very nice. Swings here, the Vanguard. Again, me not having the Brilliant Blitzer now, actually, like, very much so, is very neg. But thankfully I have a PG in hand, so I will show him the PG here. Discarding the Maple. So now both of my Soul Hacks are online. First check, nothing. Third check, again, nothing, unfortunately. But is still able to continually pressure here. But the big thing, too, is just not being able to heal down efficiently, which is very nice. So then here we go, a Sweet Cocktail. We go, would we like to retire a stood rear guard? Because then that attack is guarded, or I stop another attack from happening. He will retire here. That. So now I have to commit 1 more card for the 5k. He'll just get the Mantis. The Mantis has served its purpose for the early game. We'll swing here like so. So we got 38. So I missed guard here, thinking that I do it, so I just have to think again. I just want to look to see what all I have access to. What really sucks is not having the heal here to like 1 card guard something. So yeah, because I keep thinking of the front number, which is like just not it. So I have to guard this here really awkwardly. So it'd be 36, and then I just need to commit 5 more K. Here is that for 41. But I think again, because I don't know if I need to, yeah. And so that's what I settle for. While it sucks that I do lose the Stamping Red. I really don't have the luxury of the CB for it, in all honesty. And then go 34 here. And that's only 30, or that's 36. Yep. So that is there. I stand here and draw. And I found a brilliant. So yeah, this turn feels pretty good. Again, didn't check anything too crazy defensively. We'll go into another Gredora here. Just so that way, I go into this Gredora though because I rode the grade 3 Gredora just so that way I had the ability to counter charge now every turn, which I thought was important. Both soul hacks come back because a card was placed. Put Sweet Cocktail on the bottom, be able to counter charge here. Activate Gredora's effect to flip Mali. We'll do Maligantus number 1. Neg 10k. And also saying that card is the one that cannot intercept. And then I'm thinking here honestly on, do I go for another drop play? I think here he just was like, am I going down to -8? And so I just want to check top 5. I'm gonna rip the Dovaspit out just that way I can compress closer to another trigger. Hopefully here, so just trying to go crazy. And then I call here the Brilliant Blister, and then we'll settle on having the high class moth be the target to shove into soul here. So as you can see, a very thick hand. So I will swing here 13 to his -8. Jared will take it here, I think. Does hit a heal. The heal does not proc, however, but it does put him up to 2. Swing here. Soul Blast him. And I'm just going to grab here the Antlion just so that way, because I know now he doesn't have a PG in hand. And he has no way to like guard it, because like he didn't check the Elementaria, so this is why I felt like really good here. I'm going to have the card advantage, and now he's like forced to die. So he drops it here, and I think he makes it a 1 to pass. Yeah, that's a 1 to pass. I hit the heal. I'm going to give it to my Vanguard. Heal out the Enlargolv, hit a crit, and then give crit and the power to the thing in case he lives, and that'll do it. So thank you guys so much for watching.